The Discovery. The archival survey vessel Eternal Record drifted silently through the void, approaching the small blue-green planet designated KX 7294. Chief Archivist Tellus stood at the command viewport, her four eyes blinking in sequence as she studied the world below. Her spindly fingers adjusted the sensor controls, zooming in on an anomalous reading from the northern continent. "Captain Vorn, I'm detecting unusual energy signatures," she called across the bridge. "They're faint but distinctly artificial." Captain Vorn, a hulking Kraxus with mottled gray skin, lumbered over. His species' natural caution had made them excellent ship captains across the galactic concordat. "That's impossible," he rumbled. "This system was cataloged as uninhabited during the Great Survey. No intelligent species has ever evolved here." Nevertheless, Tellus insisted, these readings are artificial, and they appear to be emanating from approximately 200 meters beneath the surface. The captain's gill slits flared in contemplation. "Perhaps remnants of the precursors. We've found their ruins on 17 worlds so far." "Possibly," Tellus agreed, though her lower eyes narrowed in doubt. "But this signature doesn't match known precursor energy patterns." Within hours, the survey team deployed to the surface. Tellus led the expedition, accompanied by xenobiologist Dr. Emeril, technological specialist Nix, and 2 security officers. They landed near a sprawling range of weathered mountains, equipment scanning ceaselessly for the mysterious energy source. "This way," Nix chirped, his insectoid form skittering ahead of the group. "Energy signature is growing stronger. Very strange frequency." The team followed a narrow valley that wound between towering peaks until they reached what appeared to be a sheer rock face. Nix pressed his scanning device against the stone. "Hollow behind," he announced. "Large chamber. Metal components detected." Tellus approached the wall, running her thin fingers over the surface. "There's a pattern here," she murmured. "Geometric shapes, almost completely weathered away." Dr. Emeril joined her, his gelatinous body pulsing with excitement. "This isn't natural erosion. These patterns are deliberate, some kind of access mechanism." For 3 days, the team worked to understand the ancient doorway. They mapped every faded symbol, ran analysis algorithms, and attempted various activation sequences. On the 4th morning, Nix made a breakthrough. "Energy pattern," he exclaimed. "Not random. Sequential. Like code or language." He adjusted his equipment to emit a matching frequency pattern. Suddenly, a deep rumbling shook the ground beneath their feet. The rock face began to split apart, revealing a massive metal doorway that had been concealed for untold millennia. "By the 7 moons," whispered Tellus as stale air rushed out from the opening. "This is no precursor site. This design is unknown." The team cautiously entered the facility, their lights illuminating a vast chamber that extended deep underground. The walls were lined with sleek metal panels covered in unfamiliar script. Captain Vorn had joined them by now, his natural caution temporarily overcome by scientific curiosity. "Look at the construction," he said. "Advanced composite materials, yet distinctly different from Concordat standard designs." As they ventured deeper, the facility seemed to respond to their presence. Lights flickered on in sequence, revealing long corridors branching in multiple directions. The air was breathable but carried the scent of chemicals and preserved metals. "This place has been maintaining atmosphere," Dr. Emeril noted. "Some systems remain operational after, well, who knows how long." Nix skittered ahead, following the strongest energy readings. "Central chamber this way. Primary power source active." They entered an enormous circular room filled with thousands of cylindrical pods arranged in concentric rings. Each pod was approximately 2 meters long and made of a transparent material that revealed shadowy forms within. "Stasis chambers," Dr. Emeril gasped, pressing his sensory appendage against one of the pods. "And they contain organisms, Bictal, similar morphology across specimens." Tellus approached one of the pods, wiping condensation from its surface. Inside was a being unlike any species in the Concordat, bipedal with smooth skin, facial features centered around two forward-facing eyes, and a covering of dark filaments on its head. Could these be humans? She whispered. The word sent a ripple of unease through the team. Humans were creatures of myth, mentioned in ancient texts and legends from the early days of galactic civilization. They were said to have been fierce, innovative, and dangerous. But most serious scholars doubted they had ever existed. Impossible, Captain Vorn declared. Humans are folklore, cautionary tales from the time of chaos. Before anyone could respond, Nix had connected his equipment to a control panel, interface compatible with standard translation protocols, attempting data extraction. Suddenly, the facility came fully alive. Lights blazed throughout the chamber, and a melodic series of tones echoed from hidden speakers. The pod Tellus had been examining began to hum, its surface glowing with increasing intensity. "What did you do?" Captain Vorn demanded. "Nothing intentional." Nix chittered nervously. "System recognized access attempt. Initiated. Revival protocol." The pod's transparent cover slid away with a hiss of equalizing pressure. Mist billowed out as the being inside took a shuddering breath. Its first in thousands of years, the creature's eyes fluttered open, revealing irises of a deep blue that quickly focused on the aliens surrounding it. The being sat up slowly, movements careful but deliberate. It looked at each of them in turn before speaking in a language none of them understood. Nix hastily adjusted his translator, cycling through ancient linguistic databases until communication became possible. "Where am I? Who are you?" The voice was clear now, feminine in tone. Tellus stepped forward. "I am Chief Archivist Tellus of the Galactic Concordat. We discovered this facility during a routine survey mission." The being studied her with remarkable composure. "I am Commander Sarah Chen of the Earth Defense Force. How long have I been in stasis?" Tellus hesitated before answering. "We cannot be certain, but based on the decay rates of surrounding materials, approximately 12,000 years." Commander Chen's face remained controlled, though her hands gripped the edge of her pod tightly. "And Earth? The other defense outposts?" "I'm sorry," Tellus said gently, "but we know of no planet called Earth. In fact, until today, many believed humans were merely legends." Chen stood, steadier than seemed possible for someone recently revived. "Show me your star charts. Show me your historical records." As Tellus brought up the Concordat's knowledge banks on her portable terminal, Chen's expression darkened. She scrolled through star charts, finding no mention of Earth or human colonies. Centuries of galactic history made no reference to humanity except as ancient myths. "This is wrong," Chen said quietly. "We had an empire spanning hundreds of systems. We were at war with the Coalition." "What war?" Tellus asked, confused. "There's no record." "Exactly," Chen interrupted. "No record. We've been erased." The commander's eyes took on a new intensity. "Wake the others. Wake them now. We've been asleep far too long." Despite Captain Vorn's protests, more stasis pods were activated. Within hours, dozens of humans walked among the bewildered alien team. They moved with purpose, checking systems and conferring in their now translated language. A tall human male approached Tellus. "Commander Chen says you've been helpful. I'm Dr. James Reeves, Chief Scientist. We need to understand what happened while we slept." Tellus found herself drawn to these strange beings. Their adaptability was remarkable. Most species would be catatonic after learning they'd been erased from history. "Your people are handling this situation with extraordinary resilience," she told Dr. Reeves. "We were prepared for this possibility," he replied. "This facility is one of 7 preservation vaults constructed when it became clear the war was turning against us. Each vault contained 10,000 of our best and brightest, along with our knowledge, culture, and technology." In a secure command center deep within the facility, Commander Chen gathered her senior officers, 50 humans who had once led Earth's most advanced military and scientific operations. Tellus had been invited to attend, a privilege that Captain Vorn strongly opposed. "The Concordat records confirm our worst fears," Chen told her people. "Earth is not just gone. It's been removed from history. Our colonies, our achievements, our very existence erased. They tried to delete us," a security officer said bitterly. "But they failed," Chen responded calmly. "They missed this vault, and possibly others." Meanwhile, in orbit above, Captain Vorn was sending urgent communications to Concordat Central Command. His message was encrypted at the highest level. "Have discovered facility containing living specimens of mythological species human. Initial observations confirm historical warnings. Request immediate containment protocols and military support. These beings must not be allowed to leave this planet." Back in the vault, humans worked tirelessly to restore dormant systems. Engineers repaired power conduits while scientists analyzed the current state of galactic technology. Chen established a command structure with impressive efficiency. Tellus found herself increasingly torn between her duty to the Concordat and her growing respect for these humans. Their dignity in the face of extinction moved her deeply. When she discovered Vorn's message by accident, she made her choice. "Commander Chen," she said, entering the human's private office, "I must warn you. Captain Vorn has requested military intervention. The Concordat fears your people." Chen nodded, unsurprised. "History is written by the victors," archivist Tellus. "Whoever erased us from history made sure to leave only tales that would make us feared. What will you do?" "What humans have always done," Chen answered with a small smile. "Adapt, overcome, and find out the truth." As Concordat reinforcements prepared to launch, deep in the vault, human engineers activated a transmitter that had remained dormant for millennia. The signal raced across the stars toward coordinates that appeared in no Concordat database. The message was simple: Vault 1 awakened. Are we alone? 3 days later, as Concordat warships entered orbit, the answer came. Vault 3 responding. Humanity endures. The resurgence. Dawn broke over the ancient vault as Concordat dropships descended through the atmosphere. Commander Sarah Chen stood on a newly constructed observation platform, watching the approaching vessels with practiced calm. Beside her, Dr. James Reeves monitored a holographic display showing the positions of all incoming craft. 17 ships, he noted. Military configuration. They're not taking any chances. Would you? Chen asked, a hint of pride in her voice. They've spent 12,000 years telling stories about the dangerous humans. Now their nightmare has awakened. In the 3 weeks since their revival, the humans had worked relentlessly. The Preservation Vault, designed to sustain human civilization through any catastrophe, had begun to fulfill its purpose. Power systems operated at full capacity, manufacturing centers produced essential supplies, and the communications array maintained constant contact with Vault 3, located 27 light-years away in what the Concordat called the Forbidden Zone. Chief Archivist Tellus approached, her slender form seeming especially fragile among the humans. Ambassador Krex has arrived. He requests an immediate meeting. Chen nodded. Have him brought to the diplomatic chamber. And Tellus, thank you. Your warning gave us valuable preparation time. The archivist's 4 eyes blinked in sequence, her species equivalent of a nod. I believe in truth, Commander. Whatever happened 12,000 years ago, your people deserve to know. The diplomatic chamber had once been an emergency briefing room. Now it served as the interface between humanity and the Galactic Concordat. Ambassador Krex, a towering reptilian with iridescent scales and elaborate ceremonial adornments, entered with an entourage of advisors and security personnel. His vertical pupils widened slightly at the sight of humans gathered around the chamber. Commander Chen, he began, his translator rendering his hissing speech into human language. The Concordat Council extends formal recognition to your people. We offer humanitarian assistance and relocation to a designated world within Concordat space. Chen's expression remained neutral. Relocation, This facility is more than adequate for our needs. This world has been designated for comprehensive scientific study, Krex countered. Your presence here was unexpected and complicates matters. I imagine we do, Chen replied coolly. Particularly since, according to your histories, we shouldn't exist at all. The ambassador's scales rippled, a sign of discomfort among his kind. Ancient records are often imprecise. The time of chaos predates the Concordat's founding by several centuries. Dr. Reeves stepped forward. Yet someone took great care to erase all evidence of human civilization from every database and historical record. That requires precision, not chaos. The meeting continued for hours, a diplomatic dance in which nothing substantial was said. The Concordat offered resources, technology, and protection. The humans politely declined, requesting only unrestricted access to historical archives. When the ambassador finally departed, Chen turned to her senior staff. They're afraid of us, she stated simply. They don't know why, but their instincts are warning them. Or they know exactly why, countered Security Chief Maya Patil. Whoever erased us from history may still be pulling strings in the Concordat. That night, deep within the vault's secure sections, humans accessed chambers that had remained sealed even after their revival. Behind protective barriers lay laboratories containing technologies that had been theoretical when the vaults were built, now perfected by automated research systems operating for millennia. Chief Engineer Alejandro Vega stood before a sealed door marked with warning symbols. Quantum phase manipulation, he explained to Chen. The door exists in multiple states simultaneously. It's been running simulations and developing applications for 12,000 years. Can we access it? Chen asked. We already have, he replied, placing his palm on a scanner. The door rippled like water before solidifying into an open archway. Welcome to humanity's future, Commander. The chamber beyond contained devices that defied conventional understanding. Machines that manipulated gravity, altered molecular bonds, and communicated across dimensions. But most valuable was the knowledge. Petabytes of data representing 12 millennia of uninterrupted research and development. According to Tellus, the Concordat's technology has barely advanced in the past 5,000 years, Dr. Reeves noted as they examined the treasures. They've been refining the same basic principles while these systems were making breakthroughs they can't even comprehend. Chen nodded slowly. This is why they erased us. We were advancing too quickly. We threatened their stability. In orbit, Ambassador Krex received a secure transmission from the Concordat High Council. The encryption was so stringent that even his senior staff were excluded from the briefing. The humans must not be allowed access to their vault technology, the Council Elder declared. Our ancestors paid too high a price during the Purification War to risk another human expansion. They know nothing of their history, Krex assured the Council. They believe they were simply forgotten. Then they must never learn otherwise, the Elder replied. Containment protocols are authorized. If necessary, the planet must be sterilized. Unaware of the threat gathering above, humans continued awakening from stasis. Each day, hundreds more emerged from their long sleep, bringing specialized knowledge and skills vital to the community's survival. A temporary settlement grew around the vault entrance, structures rising from fabricators that could transform raw materials into finished buildings in hours. Tellus had remained with the humans, officially as the Concordat's liaison, but increasingly as their ally. She helped translate ancient texts and provided insight into the current galactic political landscape. The Concordat is a federation of 47 species, she explained during a briefing with Chen's command staff. It governs most of what you once called the Orion Arm. Beyond that are independent worlds and smaller coalitions. And Earth? Asked Maya Patil. What happened to our homeworld? Tellus's lower eyes close, a sign of discomfort. There is a world in the Concordat's restricted zone. No ships are permitted within that system by ancient treaty. It is called the Quarantine. A hush fell over the room. They didn't destroy Earth, Chen realized. They imprisoned it. The revelation galvanized the humans. If Earth still existed, perhaps other vaults had survived as well. Perhaps billions of humans remained in stasis, waiting to be awakened. Commander Chen stood on the roof of the command center that evening, watching Concordat ships maintain their blockade pattern. Their presence had grown from 17 vessels to nearly 40. "They're preparing for something," Dr. Reeves said, joining her. Tellus intercepted fragments of encrypted transmissions. She believes they're discussing final containment protocols. Chen nodded. "We've suspected this would happen. Are we ready?" "As ready as we can be," he confirmed. "The quantum shields are operational, and the displacement engines are at 90%. Vault 3 reports similar progress." Below them, humans went about their work with quiet determination. In just 1 month, they had built a functioning society from nothing but stored knowledge and raw materials. It was this adaptability, this relentless innovation, that had once made humanity a force to be reckoned with across the stars. And it was what would save them now. At dawn, the Concordat fleet moved into attack formation. Ambassador Krex sent a final communication. "Commander Chen, the Concordat regrets to inform you that your presence on this world has been deemed a violation of quarantine protocols established by the ancestral treaties. You are ordered to surrender the vault facility for immediate containment." Chen's reply was brief. "We decline." The first energy barrages struck the invisible quantum shields and dissipated harmlessly. The Concordat commanders, expecting easy victory against primitive survivors, were unprepared for what followed. From the human settlement, silver disks rose into the sky. Hundreds of them, each no larger than a human hand. They accelerated to impossible speeds, weaving between Concordat vessels before attaching to their hulls. "Quantum entanglement disruptors," explained Engineer Vega as they watched from the command center. "They create localized reality fluctuations. Nothing harmful, just enough to temporarily disable their weapons and propulsion." Within minutes, the entire Concordat fleet hung motionless in orbit, their systems compromised by technology they couldn't begin to understand. Chen opened a channel to all vessels. "This is Commander Sarah Chen of the Earth Defense Force. We have temporarily disabled your ships to prevent unnecessary conflict. Your crews are unharmed, and your systems will be restored once our departure is complete. We have no desire for war. We simply wish to reunite with our kind and reclaim our history." Beneath the settlement, massive engines awakened. The ground trembled as ancient mechanisms, designed for this very contingency, began to lift not just the vault, but the entire surrounding landmass from the planet's surface. "A self-contained ark," Dr. Reeves explained to the astonished Tellus. "The vault was built into a detachable section of planetary crust. It contains everything we need to establish a new colony, or in this case, to journey home." As the massive structure rose into the atmosphere, Chen approached Tellus. "You have a choice to make, Archivist. You can return to the Concordat, or you can come with us. We're going to discover the truth about our past, about the war, about why we were erased." Tellus looked at the humans around her, beings of legend who had emerged from myth to reclaim their place in the galaxy. In just 1 month, she had witnessed their resilience, their creativity, and their unwavering determination. Whatever they had been before, whatever had led to their attempted erasure from history, she could not believe they deserved extinction. "The greatest duty of an archivist is to preserve truth," she said finally. "I will accompany you." The massive ark achieved orbit, its quantum drives humming with power accumulated over 12 millennia. Concordat vessels remained disabled, their crews watching in disbelief as the humans prepared to depart. In the command center, Chen received confirmation that all systems were ready. She gave the order that would begin humanity's return to the stars. "Set course for the quarantine. It's time to go home." The ark disappeared in a flash of displaced reality, leaving the stunned Concordat fleet behind. Similar events were unfolding 27 light-years away as Vault 3 made its own escape. Ambassador Krex, watching from his flagship, understood the significance of what he had witnessed. After 12,000 years, the balance of power had shifted. The beings that ancient records called the innovators, the adaptable ones, the relentless, they had returned. Humanity had awakened, and the galaxy would never be the same.